The rain hammered against the grimy windows of Lily's Emporium, mirroring the relentless pounding in Jack Rourke's head. Any the Blade Bellini's warning had been succinct. Thorne's men were coming. Rourke nursed a whiskey, the amber liquid doing little to soothe the ache in his bruised rib. Jeeves, ever the picture of nervous propriety, wrung his hands near the back room, his tailored suit looking out of place amidst the scent of lilies and impending doom. He was quite specific, Jeeves murmured, his voice barely audible above the rain. Thorne wants Monroe's ledger. Seems everything points back to those diamonds. Thorne always wanted those diamonds, Rourke grunted, taking another swig. The question is, why now? And why send a hit squad? Monroe's been dead a week. Leila Monroe, elegant in a black dress that clung to her like a second skin, watched them from the front room. The grief, Rourke suspected, was as carefully constructed as a stage set. Benny tends to exaggerate, she said, her voice smooth as silk. Thorne is a busy man. He likely has other matters to attend to. Rourke didn't believe her. No one sent thugs unless they had something to hide, or wanted something like a ledger detailing a smuggling operation, he asked, his voice laced with cynicism. Leila's expression didn't flicker. Arthur was involved in many things, some less than reputable. And you knew about them? I preferred not to inquire, she replied, her gaze unwavering. The door to the Emporium burst open, and two men in dark suits, their faces grim, strode in. They scanned the room with predatory eyes. Looking for someone? Rourke asked, his hand instinctively moving towards the .38 hidden beneath his coat. We're looking for Arthur Monroe's ledger, the larger of the two said, his voice a low growl, and anyone protecting it. Arthur's been dead a week, Leila interjected, her voice still calm. Sure you're not still chasing ghosts? Ghosts have a habit of returning, the man sneered. The fight was short, brutal. Rourke moved with the efficiency born of years spent navigating the city's underbelly. Jeeves, surprisingly, proved capable of defending himself, utilizing a series of quick, precise movements. But they were outnumbered. Just as Rourke was about to be overwhelmed, a third figure appeared, a hulking shadow that dispatched the two thugs with surprising ease. It was Sergeant Miller, looking thoroughly disgruntled. Thought I'm hearing commotion, Miller said, wiping his brow. Seems like you got yourself into a little trouble, Rourke. Just a friendly visit, Rourke said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. With the immediate threat neutralized, Rourke turned his attention back to Leila. You knew they were coming, he accused. Leila shrugged, her expression unreadable. Then you warned me. I assumed they were merely looking for information. And you didn't think to tell me? Rourke asked, his voice rising. I underestimated their persistence, Leila said, carefully. And besides, you seem quite capable of handling yourself. Rourke suspected she was testing him, gauging his reaction. He wasn't about to fall for it. We need to find that ledger, he said, before Thorne decides to pay us another visit. The ledger wasn't in Arthur Monroe's office, nor was it in the Emporium's safe. After a thorough search, Jeeves recalled something. Arthur mentioned a warehouse down by the docks, a place he used for storage. The warehouse was a dilapidated husk, the smell of salt and decay heavy in the air. Inside, stacked crates and forgotten machinery formed a labyrinthine maze, and in a corner hidden beneath the top was a single locked safe. He kept it well hidden, Jeeves said, fiddling with a hairpin in an attempt to pick the lock. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the warehouse, looking for something. Standing in the doorway was Thorne, flanked by two more of his men. Just admiring your storage facility, Rourke said, his hand returning to his .38. You're getting too close to the truth, Rourke, Thorne said, his voice laced with menace. Arthur Monroe was playing with fire, and now, so are you. The ensuing fight was chaotic and brutal. Rourke, despite his injury, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. Jeeves, proving to be a surprisingly effective distraction, kept Thorne's men occupied, while Rourke attempted to crack the safe. Just as Thorne was about to overpower Rourke, a loud crash echoed through the warehouse. A figure emerged from the shadows, a familiar face, bruised and disheveled. It was Arthur Sterling. I thought I heard trouble, Sterling said, his voice strained. I'm here to help. With Sterling's unexpected intervention, the tide of the fight turned. Thorne's men, caught off guard, were quickly subdued. Thorne then raged, lunged at Rourke, but Sterling managed to deflect the attack. After the dust settled, Rourke, with Sterling's help, finally cracked the safe. Inside, nestled amongst stacks of cash and assorted valuables, was the ledger. The ledger detailed Arthur Monroe's smuggling operation, revealing a complex network of corrupt officials, ruthless criminals, and desperate gamblers. And at the top of the list, in bold, incriminating lettering, was the name of Vivian Sterling, Arthur Sterling's wife. Rourke felt a cold dread creep into his gut. The investigation had taken a dark and unexpected turn. It seems your wife was more involved than you realize, Sterling, Rourke said, his voice flat. Sterling's face paled. This can't be true, he stammered. My Vivian wouldn't. "The ledger does a lie," Rourke said, handing him a copy of the damning document. As Sterling stared at the ledger, a wave of betrayal washed over his face. His world, meticulously constructed, was crumbling around him. Arthur Monroe watched the scene unfold with a detached amusement. "It seems everyone has their secrets," she said, her voice smooth as silk. Rourke turned to her, his eyes narrow. "You knew about this, didn't you, Leela?" Leela simply smiled, a predatory glint in her eyes. "I prefer to observe," she said. "Let others do the dirty work." Rourke knew then that he hadn't uncovered the full story. There were still layers of deception to peel back, secrets waiting to be revealed. As the police arrived to take Thorne and his men into custody, Sterling stood alone, clutching the ledger, his face a mask of despair. "You should have trusted me, Arthur," a soft voice said. Arthur turned to see a figure emerge from the shadows, and a sinister smile came across her face as she closed her hands around his. "I would have been much kinder to you if you were mine," she cooed. The rain continued to fall, washing away the grime and revealing a city steeped in corruption and betrayal. And Jack Rourke knew that his work was far from over.